episode of the Signal Callers DFS Show. Today is September 26th. We're going to take a stab at breaking down the Week 4 Main Slate today. Got some interesting games to go over. I'm Kevin. We've got Trey and Blake here with me. What's going on, boys?
What's up, man? Glad to have the band back together. I missed y'all the last 2 episodes, man. But I am back. Week 4 looks like it's going to be another interesting late swap week. There's some interesting late window games. So I'm excited to break it down with y'all.
Yeah, it should be a good one this week. This is a slate that's going to take some brain power. So, which probably means it'll be my first red week. But let's try to keep the streak going.
Yeah, it's.
Are you gonna try to not play a cash game lineup this week?
Hey, bro, I cash, right? Cash. I got the money in the bank now.
Respect.
Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Let's just dive right into it. Let's talk about some of the games that we're avoiding. Let's get that out the way first. Which ones are the ones that we don't really see a ton of value on?
So I kind of threw a couple of these up here, and Tennessee Houston just sounds absolutely gross to me. Cam Ward hasn't been great. Houston defense is really good. Houston offense has been really bad. Tennessee defense has been pretty decent. I think Nico could probably be decent here, but I'm just going to stay away from this one. The next one for me to kind of stay away from just feels like a big slog. Is Washington and Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I actually could see a Penix bounce back. I think that's a very possible outcome. Penix comes back and plays really well, but with Mariota there, if Penix doesn't play well, I don't see this being a very exciting game at all. Being a low scoring. So just another slog. And then, so those two I'm definitely out on. The next one that I'm iffy on, just to give you 3 to make it kind of even, Carolina, New England is Carolina's defense coming back? Are they pretty good? But if they could stop the run, they've been decent on the pass. So if they could stop the run, that should be good. And they held my boy Bijan last week and killed my lineups. So, yeah, and I don't know. New England is just not great on offense, right? 3 fumbles last week at least. So
I think there's some interesting pieces on the New England side that we could touch on later. But I agree. These games kind of suck. I would say the Texans' defense.
They're slow.
That's
the big thing against New England.
I feel like if anything that stands out from here, I feel like Texans' defense is the one that I probably will have the most of. So.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Washington Atlanta. Just nothing in that game really excites me.
They don't push the ball down the field.
And then Mariota's confirmed in, right?
Yeah, Daniels.
So
I do think Nico is interesting this week. So if I'm into that Houston game, it's for him. But other than that, I'm with you.
Yeah, it'll be like last week, right? He just takes one big hit for a touchdown for him, and he's the guy to do it of anybody in the league, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We can touch on the individual pieces as we move through the position groups that we might want to target there, but not a ton of game stackability from any of those. What about the ones that we are targeting? Let's switch it on to a little bit more positive of a spin.
Yeah, so I only really like 2 games targeting this week, but that's because these just stand out. The other ones I don't hate. It's just I only like pieces here and there. So from a stackability standpoint, these 2 are where I'm focusing. And the first one of that would be Indy, Los Angeles. I think this is going to be the chalk game of the week, just kind of in general. And then the next one would be Chicago, Vegas. Yeah. So I'll be. If there's any correlation in my lineups this week, it'll be in those 2 games.
Yeah, I really like. I'll pick a game from the noon games. I like the Chargers Giants, obviously, but the game I'll pick there is the Philly and Tampa Bay game that I'm kind of into. I think Philadelphia's offense started to come alive last week finally.
Yeah,
they decided to throw the ball a little bit more than 3 yards downfield.
Mm-hmm. And I think the Bucs defense has been a bit of a pass funnel, and so they're probably not. Well, again, we'll get into individual player stuff, but it could be a shootout there. And then in the late window games, I think there's a couple that's interesting. Obviously, like you said, the Colts and Rams is going to be the chalkiest. I kind of like. I mean, obviously, the appeal of that KC Baltimore game is the one I'm kind of.
It feels like that one could blow up, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some interesting pieces there. I know that you would it feels like it's like the same as last week where the more interesting games are in the late window. Like you mentioned earlier with the late swap ability of some of these games. So I'm interested to see where I come in on my lineups, if I come in heavier in the late games or heavier in the early games. So
yeah. The other game I'll mention, like I think people are going to avoid it, Cleveland, Detroit, because I think there's like a perception now that Cleveland's defense is actually pretty solid. And
More
I
than a
think
perception. It's backed by statistics.
well, yeah, and I think the only piece that's looking somewhat chalky from that matchup is Gibbs, and so I think people like Jameson Williams is a bit of a value this week, but yeah, we'll break it down by position.
Yeah. Blake, you want to touch on I see here you put themes of the week. You want to touch on that before we get into the positions?
Yeah, so this is kind of like the big questions that I brought up last week, right? Last week, the big question is, hey, there's so much value on that slate. Like, did I want to force the 3 RBs who kind of had the higher floor versus maybe some wide receivers who hit some higher ceiling outcomes? So this week, the big theme is that there's no great value just like screaming at me on any positions this week, right? So even if like the cheap quarterbacks aren't there's no really good cheap running backs. Nothing's just begging you to play it. So this might be the first slate I actually go 4 wide receivers instead of 3 running backs, or maybe 2 tight ends. Who knows? I don't know how this goes, right? Getting a little crazy, but I think I'm probably getting away from 3 running backs because I don't like the value on this slate for them.
Yeah.
And then, last week, in the lineup review, Kevin, Trey, I don't know if you listened to our episode there, but I was mentioning how I think I forced a lot of correlation, right? I had a Caleb double with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, and I that's what hurt me. I feel like I shouldn't have gone to DJ Moore, so I forced that correlation just to get a little different because it was a chalkier lineup. And, this week I think I'm going to try to learn from that. I don't see I'm not going to be afraid to just not have any correlation. I'm going to play the best plays, and I think because the way the pricing is this week, that it makes sense more, right? There's no saying like, hey, like this is a great game environment, you need to hammer it, as much as you can. So, yeah. What do y'all think about this?
I'll kind of push back a little bit on that last point. I do think that you could again go back to the Chicago because I do think that the Chicago Vegas environment could potentially lead to some shootout capabilities, and there are a lot of interesting pieces in that game from both sides. So which we'll touch on in a second. But yeah, for the most part, I'm with you on the rest of those points.
Yeah, so I agree, right? Chicago, Las Vegas, and that's why I named that one in those other 2 games. But you're not thinking about doubles, really. Right. I would say probably for a lot of these, just because they're so expensive, or everything. Yeah. Like the prices feel elevated for a quarterback, for the running back, wide receivers this week.
This feels like the first week that the prices are kind of falling into line of where they should be. And like I feel like the first couple of weeks you were able to find these insane values, especially at receiver, which like last week made it easy to jam those 3 elite running backs in.
Exactly.
Because you could find 3 or 4 wide receiver or 3 wide receivers that could, fill out that lineup. But why don't we just dive into the quarterbacks and kind of go down the list. Which are the ones that are standing out to you guys as like the above the rest of the pack?
So looking at ownership, I'm kind of into the elites on this week's slate. Like I like Mahomes this week. I like Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Lamar's expensive.
Are you calling Mahomes elite? I think that's a take right there. Kevin's going to fight you on.
Well, it's Patrick Mahomes.
It's been a while since he's had fantasy production.
I think Kevin agrees on the talent, right?
But the quarterback, absolutely, he's the best quarterback in the league. But it's just not showing up in the fantasy streets.
Well, the reason I like him is because I think a lot of people are going to be like scared to play Xavier Worthy in his first game back, and so that's just like an interesting leverage angle. But he's also cheaper than Brock Purdy this week, who's coming back from an injury. So yeah, when I like price adjusted,
This might be the
value,
cheapest Pat Mahomes has ever been.
Right.
Yeah. So those guys are kind of standing out to me. Obviously Caleb and Gino and I guess like Mariota will be the chalk of the week. I think Josh Allen too. I mean, someone sent that meme. Of
You want to
Josh
just start at the top and start listing, going down the list here?
Are you
Well,
putting in as many lineups as you did last week?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. But I like Josh Allen, but I kind of like him without pass catchers this week.
Yeah.
This is an interesting way to play. So
do you think you're playing expensive, cheap this week? And I'd say cheap under 5,800, under Caleb, right?
I don't want anything under besides May, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. I think May would be as
Bunch
low
of
as
Geno haters here,
and
man.
Dart.
Well,
I mean Dart.
Geno too. Yeah, but
I don't want Dart.
I guess I'm in the camp of I think I'm going to build 3 to 5 lineups. Maybe I land on a Geno one, but I think if I'm going to attack that game, I think I'd go the Caleb side.
It's the same thing as last week. It's like if that
Right.
game evolves into a shootout, it's going to be because of Caleb. And so Geno can get passes down the field, but I think if that game's going to go to the upside, like you really need Caleb to.
Yeah, I mean, you need both for a shootout to happen. You need both teams to participate, and I think Caleb's starting to warm up. Right, I think they're going to build confidence off this last one, so I think they're going to get a little better. But man, like I really do like Geno this week at 5,400. I think he's the best cheap quarterback there is. At home, right? Chicago's going West Coast. Chicago's the worst defense. They did do pretty well against Dak and company, right? But as Dak minus CD, and I really like Geno this week. If I had to play a cheap quarterback, it would be Geno. But I think you got me on the Mahomes there, right? I think 6,000 might be the cheapest we've ever seen Mahomes, and he's at home against a bad defense with Baltimore.
They're fighting. Both teams are fighting to not go down 1-3, and
exactly
Mahomes is gonna have to just throw the ball down the field. Like
they have zero running game in Kansas City. It's terrible, right?
Bad.
If they're within the first 5 yards, yeah, give it to Kareem Hunt. He could probably get you a touchdown. But
I don't know if they waiting on to give more to Brashad Smith. Honestly, they're not getting anything out of Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. So,
did you see that one highlight of Pacheco on the screen pass? He checked the defensive lineman, and he actually ran behind Mahomes, and he ran the wrong way. Mahomes threw him the ball. Y'all didn't see this one? Oh my God!
He was turned around.
He was turned around. Oh, it was the worst highlight.
He was facing the opposite end zone, and Mahomes threw it to him, and it was a backwards pass. So it
was a backwards pass. It was terrible.
And Mahomes had to dive on it. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, for QB, do we want to do flag plants now and then move on to running back, or how do we want to do that? Kind of like we did last week.
Yeah, I think.
Well, first, I'm curious. Do y'all have any interest in playing? Let's look at price here. I consider Justin Herbert middle there. So Baker 6,500 and up. So Baker, Hurts, Lamar, Allen.
I mean, of that, I do like Lamar this week a lot. He has yet to. I'm trying to pull up his scores. Can you? One of y'all check? Does he have a? He doesn't have a 25 point. Less than 25 points on the week.
No, yeah. 29, 26, 27.
And I think if you want to attack this game, you could, if you want to, stack him with an Andrews or a Bateman potentially, and then bring it back with Worthy or Thornton. I think that's a way to attack it. You could just do Lamar skinny if you like. But I know that you're paying up for him, but again, he's not going to carry any ownership because people are going to gravitate towards Geno, May, Daniel Jones. They're going to be paying less than 2K less. So if you want to get a little bit different there, I think you can with just going with Jackson.
Don't love the matchup there, but I love the idea of paying up and just look at the price, right? I didn't realize he didn't have under a 25-point game yet. But if you look at Puka, you look at CMC, right? Guys who you expect to put up 25 points, they're both more expensive than Lamar, right? So you shouldn't feel bad for putting going for Lamar here when Lamar could easily put up 40 points.
I mean, he has also and recently he has torched the Chiefs. Week 1 of last year he scored 27, torched. I say, I mean he. It's not like Spags is. I know the idea is that Spags will take the best.
The defense
player.
has been good.
True, but Lamar has been willing to scramble versus Spags, whereas like earlier in his career when they matched up, he was bottled up when they were taking his receivers away from him. So Lamar has definitely been willing to tuck it and put it on the ground now. How does that match up with Henry? Is Henry the one that Spags takes away this week? I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I feel good about Lamar, and I haven't really started fleshing out lineups yet, but I think I'm going to try to get one with him in there.
I like it.
Yeah.
Trey?
Out of those 4, you said?
Just the elite guys tier? There, right? Yeah. That expensive tier. Are you spending up on quarterback?
If I had to choose out of just those 4,
I'm not choosing just out of it's like one of those 4, or you're going a mid to low.
Let's phrase it. Let's frame it like this. If you were building a single entry lineup, like a one entry, which Blake is, but if you were only building one lineup this week, is Lamar in that player pool for you, or sure. Any of those 4? I guess.
Oh, for sure. They're all of them would be. I think. I would
put it this way: are they top 3, top 2, top 3, top 2 quarterback between choosing a single lineup?
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a guy that's $100 cheaper than Baker, and I alluded to it earlier, but nobody is going to play Jared Goff this week.
Yeah,
and
Jared Goff. That's a take.
Jared Goff.
We need like a DJ button here. Fire take.
Jared Goff at home in that dome is just a different quarterback. I mean, you saw what they did to Chicago week 2. They were the stack he needed.
They've woken up.
He's it's like night and day with him. It's kind of like what we have with Breeze. Like when he's in a dome, he's letting it rip, man. So,
and I think that the idea is that Cleveland's defense is really, really good, and they are. But I think that more on the.
They're really, really good against the run.
Right, like they can be attacked through the air, and I think that you, like you said, Trey, there are some interesting pieces here. The Jameson piece kind of stands out to me, like you mentioned too. But you can go Amon-Ra. I mean, let me just see.
Goff never gets respect because there's just so much talent around him. I feel right, like James Williams is unbelievable. Amon-Ra, Laporta, like you can't stack him. He's not like easily I got Goff in there. Let me throw in Amon-Ra.
I mean,
like,
that team.
what if it's a Laporta game?
And that team marched into Baltimore and beat them dudes, man. Like that's a good football team. They're well coached. Obviously, like they got so many weapons.
A lot of people beat Baltimore this year.
When they're
I think a lot of people will.
Well, when they're clicking, like they end up being like the stack you need, like pieces of it. So
okay. I guess we don't have to harp on this anymore. I think Kevin's planted the seed in my head for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see Josh Allen going absolutely nuts and putting, they're probably going to put up 40, 50 points on the Saints. like that's extremely
but here's
possible.
An idea though, will it be necessary it would be my question for them to do that. Will it be just like
no, they only need to score 20 points. Saints aren't scoring 20 points.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you're paying up for Josh Allen, but will it be one of those just kind of grind it out? Let's just get through this. They're an easy opponent. Do we need to like flex 50-point scores on them? I mean, maybe.
How many points the Seahawks put up last week?
Yeah, but I mean that game was over.
They put up almost 30 in the first quarter or something.
I wonder it's going to be the same. Like I don't know. I definitely feel like I would choose Lamar over Josh Allen in that scenario.
Yeah. I tend to agree because it could be a lot of the backup running backs just getting work, right?
And I mean, look at Lamar. I mean, Josh versus Lamar just this season. Like Josh has some letdown games, even though like are they undefeated? I think they are, right?
Yes, they are.
And I mean, he has like a week last week, 11 points. Like, I mean,
last week he had 23 against Miami.
I mean, the week before it was
against the Jets. The Jets, yeah, he's got a dud there, but I think their running game's so good. So, anyways, all right. So, yeah, let's move on here.
Let's move on to flag plants on this one.
Yeah,
Trey, you want to go quick? Or you want to get Blake in there?
I'll go. I will say, if I were building 5 lineups this week, and they each had a different quarterback, my top 5 quarterbacks for this week would be: I'd have a Lamar lineup. I'd probably have an Allen lineup. I'd have a Baker lineup. I'd have a Jared Goff lineup, and I'd have a Mahomes lineup.
So you're all expensive quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's just the guys that are Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't, like you said, I don't like anything priced below Geno, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, there's nothing below Geno. I mean, I could see you potentially going Trevor, but like that's a gamble. That's a big GPP play.
And with Geno, I don't like it, working my way back up. Geno, I don't know which pass catcher to get him attached to.
So Drake that's my point this week, though.
Daniel Jones again, like that's good Rams defense. Caleb on the road, I don't know.
Daniel Jones is just elite, dude. Like I'm on board. He's just elite.
He's elite.
He put up 25 against Denver.
He's not elite.
Okay, Blake, who's your flag plant?
But my flag plant would be Goff.
Oh,
Goff.
Okay, wow.
Goff.
I'm gonna name five QBs, and I'm not gonna put flag plant on any of them.
Yeah, I said no. I said Josh Allen, Lamar, Baker, Goff, and Mahomes. Choosing Goff.
Yeah, Kevin, you need to put a DJ button. That would be. Anyways, all right. So I think Mahomes is probably the best value in the slate. Like I said, I don't think we'll ever get a $6,000 Mahomes skin. This is just unreal. So it's honestly between him and Geno, and it's just whatever I could do for my lineup. I didn't mention it in the theme section, but my theme this week is figure a way to get Puka and CMC in there and figure the rest out. So that's how I'm going to figure it out, right? Whatever my cost lets me throw in there. If it lets me throw in Mahomes, great. I got a little higher floor. I could see Geno absolutely going off this week, though.
I like
Chicago is just a terrible defense.
Yeah. I'm going to stick in the same game. I mean, we've talked about my Lamar love. So he would be like a minor flag plant. But I'm gonna go to Caleb again. I'm gonna go back to the well.
Going back to the well.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna keep that momentum going. It could have been an even bigger day if the Cowboys pushed them. That's
been all his games, man. All his games. It could have been a little bit bigger. I mean, 2 yards, and he's got a 32-point game last week.
Hey, look, and he's got to keep it. He's got to keep his streak of not getting sacked in a game going. He started a new streak, right?
I didn't know that.
Cowboys are the first team that didn't sack him in his career. So first game he hasn't been sacked in his career, which is a dubious honor to have if you are a Cowboys fan. But yeah,
Max Crosby, yeah, we'll see. Khalil Mack's not playing.
I'm going to go back to the well with Williams, with Caleb Williams here. So let's move on to running backs. Or do y'all want to do receivers next? Let's
go running backs, of course. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
That's the natural progression.
Where are we leaning running back wise?
Sounds like we all have the same take here. There's no screaming value.
It's not like last week where there were like 2 extreme.
Well, there was 4. There was 4, right? Last week, I feel like you had Ken Walker, you had Jordan Mason as absolute screaming values. I felt Javonte was a really good pick. 300 more, and I can't remember the 4th one off the top of my head. But I think the chalkiest play this week will be probably Scatterbo, right? The chalky cheap play at least.
Hampton maybe.
Hampton is 5,900. Yeah, I can see that.
Hampton and Scatterbo are coming in on 1 week season about the same ownership wise, maybe like a point or two different. The chalkiest play is going to be CMC. I mean, we'll touch on Puka later, but we
do you think he's really going to be that high?
Their 1 week season is projecting him over 30%. What's
8,500? What's TR's got him at 30, right? 29.5.
Yeah, I think he's going to be up there. I mean, we talked about it in the last episode. Like, you just start your lineups with Puka and CMC, and you're already like, I mean, but so is everybody, So
yeah,
because they are such like insanely solid plays that like it's hard to not play them.
The only thing is like there's no cheap players, good players on the slate. Right. So CMC, that's why I feel like this is going to come in high. I feel like it's going to come in lower than this.
We touched on this before we started recording, but CMC leads the league in expected fantasy points.
15 targets last week is insane.
It's crazy. And I mean,
for a running back.
Pearsall also appeared on the injury report. I don't think it's serious, but
no, he's full practice. He's that's
so not like I mean they have to use him, So yeah, I don't know. What are you guys? Are there any of them like we've already talked about how there's nothing that's like screaming that we have to put him in the lineup. I think CMC might be there, even though he is super chalky. But yeah, what are you guys thinking about? There's a lot of rookies this week that are potentially carrying a lot of.
So let's start with this, right? What do you think is the top play, right? The absolute top play, regardless of price. Who cares, right? Is it CMC? Is it Jonathan Taylor, right? Omari and Hampton could be a top play. The Giants are giving up a lot of points to defense. I mean, to running backs, but I feel like they're a good defense, so it makes me not want to click that, right? So I don't know. Who do y'all think is the top?
I think CMC.
Like, just who's scoring the most?
CMC by a mile has the highest ceiling. Like,
yeah,
ceiling. But let's talk about median outcome, right?
Well, you said who's the top play? It's CMC.
Okay.
Either way, floor, median,
8,500
ceiling.
Don't matter. You're playing them.
I'm just to answer your question. Like, who's the best running back? If I had to choose one running back on this slate to give me the most points this week, I'm choosing CMC. Okay. Over that's a slate that has Bijan and JT and Gibbs.
Yeah, I think it's CMC too. I think I think there are interesting pieces like in Bijan. I think a lot of people aren't going to go back to him this week.
No, he went up in price after poor performance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think, but his ownership was over 30% last week, and now it's under 15 projected right now. So
yeah,
I mean, it'll be interesting to see where Jonathan Taylor comes in after having massive weeks back to back, especially in that game environment that a lot of people are thinking about as being one of the best. So. Yeah, I mean CMC's who has the cleanest shot at 30 points? Probably CMC.
Yeah, and JT, like, he's been on this all-world run, but the Rams really like stifled Saquon last week. Like, they got pretty good run defense.
Everybody stifled Saquon this year, though. Like, to be honest, like, look at his rushing yards.
I think the Eagles are stifling Saquon.
Yeah, I think the Eagles' rushing game is not what it was.
Yeah.
Right. We have 3 games now where Saquon is not. He's not doing last year. He ran hot last year. Okay, I didn't expect him to run this bad.
Let's approach it this way. Of these guys that are over like 15% ownership that we assume are going to be kind of chalky. So we're talking about like CMC, Hampton, Scatterbo, JT, Cook, Bijan potentially creeps up there. Are any of those guys that you're building around, or are we coming down to like Alvin Kamara, Genti maybe, which is weird that he's carrying ownership even after the bad start that he's had. Judkins popped last week. Is he going to keep the momentum going? I don't know. So, or there's also Woody Marks down here, 4,400, who's an interesting name. I feel like
Marks is coming up. Pump the best ball bags, right?
Right.
I have a ton of Woody Marks. I'll start from the bottom there. Woody Marks, I think he's coming up. JCM out on. Travion is an interesting piece this week. I think he's going to get hyped up, but I think I don't know. I feel like it's not going to come to fruition. I don't think he's going to get the workload he needs. Quinshawn is interesting to me. I do think the Browns, like rational coaching, if I was the coach of the Browns, I say I have a great defense. I want my defense to just maul, and I'm going to give them a break by not throwing the ball 40 times a game, right? And I'm going to use my best player, who's obviously Quinshawn Judkins already, and just run the ball with him. So the only thing that scares me is if, Detroit does hit a couple big plays early and they get behind. Then I think he gets scripted out. I don't think he should, but I think he gets scripted out. So that's my worry with Quinshawn. Trey, you're the resident Quinshawn bandwagoner here. How do you feel about that? Are you just automatically clicking him in?
No, I'm into him. I don't know if I'll have him in a lineup this week, but I just think he's really good, and he's still kind of flying under the radar a little bit, which is weird. Like, he's the RB1 in Cleveland. Like, Dylan Sampson's dead.
They're like 5 practices. He was the RB1.
And I
can't believe they killed my boy Sampson.
I tell you what, like, you asked Kevin out of the high ownership guys. I said it before we hit record, but I don't know how you fade Hanson this week. Like, he's the cheapest he's like the Jordan Mason last week. I just feel like it's really good chalk, and it's 17% versus Jordan Mason last week. It was like, what, 30, almost 40?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing behind him. Like, he showed it last week when it was his backfield. Like, I think he put a 20 something points.
So the Giants are the
25
number 2, right? Giving up the most points to running backs, defense-wise.
Of the 2 chalky rookies, which defense which rookie you like better out of Scottaboo, New Hampton, considering the defenses they're going up against?
So before I lose this in my head, though, Jonathan Taylor, the Rams are giving up the least amount of points to the running back, right?
That's what I said.
We talked to JT earlier, right, and his role and everything.
That's what I said. But they did to Saquon last week, and I don't like JT at that much this week.
What are the Lions giving up?
I think it would be interesting to play both Omarion and Scottaboo together.
That's going to be low combo.
Because so that's your salary relief on the slate too, right? There's no salary relief anywhere else unless you go rookie running backs.
I mean, the idea behind Scottaboo. I'm gonna go Scottaboo. And
it is Scottaboo, but it just feels like it shouldn't be.
Sue me. Anyway, the idea would be that he is going to be a relief valve for Dart. Relief valve for Dart, like in the form of checkdowns. But Dart doesn't really have a history of doing that at Ole Miss. But again, different offense. Lane Kiffin, he wants to push the ball down the field. Dart is a home run hunter. So, but again, you don't know how he's going to react in the pros too. So. They always say sometimes too, like the second game is the one that the rookie QBs could potentially struggle in a little bit more because there's some tape, there's some tendencies that defenses can like attack. So I wonder if Dart just comes out and like hair on fire, just goes crazy. I feel like that's in the realm of possibilities as well. So I don't know. I feel like I don't think Scottaboo is a bad play.
No.
But I definitely would lean, if I'm playing one of them, I would lean Hampton, but I wouldn't be opposed to playing both of them on the same lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Scottaboo's coming off an 8-target game, man. Like that's pretty good. Now, like you said,
a horrendous game by Russ Wilson too.
Yeah, it's a horrendous game,
really like
and it's against the Chiefs.
Katie.
The Chiefs are actually like a really good defense.
Yeah,
and Scottaboo's just a dog. I have a ton of him drafted, so
yeah, for sure.
Maybe I'm a little biased.
Are there any other guys that we want to touch on before we get to flag plants?
Yeah. So we haven't talked about it at all. I think I'm in on James Cook this week, right? I think James Cook has to score 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Kenneth Walker fell into the end zone twice last week and had like 30 yards rushing. James Cook that offense is so good at running the ball, and we're so bad. He's at least going to score 1 touchdown. Like, I feel like that is the safest bet of any running back on the slate, that he is going to score 1 touchdown this week. So
Yeah.
I do just want to highlight him. $7,100. I feel like it's a bargain.
Yeah, I think he's definitely underpriced for what he could potentially give you. I think it has to do with like the amount of like touches that he gets, because he's not like
Roll's the strongest it's ever been this year.
Right, but he doesn't necessarily get the quote unquote workhorse like number of touches that like a CMC or a Bijan or Barkley or JT would get, right? So, but he's super efficient when he does touch the ball. He's a home run threat every time he touches the ball. Spoiler alert, that's my guy this week. So, I haven't gotten there yet, but we haven't gotten there. Cook, yeah.
So we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to pull straws. See who goes first for flag plant.
All right. Let's just do the flag plants then. Trey, you can go first.
Real quick, because you asked about other worthy mentions. So,
okay.
I think Kyron Williams is interesting this week.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
I think Kamara is an interesting pivot off of Olave this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually into, like we talked about, Henderson, Judkins, and below. I think big dog, man, Derrick Henry. Like, people scared the fumbles. I don't see how KC stops him. I don't like. I think he could run.
KC's usually really good against the run, but they gave up 6 yards per carry to Scatterboo last week. So
yeah,
they don't have a good defense in their offense.
Derrick Henry, some are saying.
Some are saying.
So I think he's worth a mention there, Derrick Henry, because when he hits, it's, again, like you said, insane regret. But yeah.
What's his price this week?
72.
Where's he at? 72, so 100 more than James Cook.
Yeah, for
okay,
more than half the ownership, or less than half the ownership, though.
So in the lineup review last week, Trey, I said you screwed me. You made me think about ownership for the first time in all the few weeks, and that's why I forced that extra correlation. And I that's why I forced DJ Moore in my lineup.
Because your lineup sucked?
No. I'm taking full blame myself.
Definitely blaming you for DJ Moore is.
I'm blaming. Yeah, I'm blaming. I'm blaming myself for being weak enough to listen to you here.
Oh wait, it's turned on. Hang
you
on.
did the gesture thing.
Did it move? The camera moved.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
All right,
Trey's our resident zoomer.
You got a flag plant for us?
Y'all go. Wait, y'all said y'all go first.
Blake could go first. Blake, I got another guy. Blake could go first.
Yeah, okay. So I already laid out my spiel for James Cook, so I'm going James Cook. I think he has the potential for 3 touchdowns this week. They have no need to throw the ball. Just run it down the Saints' throats.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Blake stole him from me. He's my main flag plant. I'm actually gonna go with the guy that we haven't really talked about. I'm gonna do Travion Henderson. I think this is the week. All the signs point to, Henderson being the guy. I mean, Ramondre just cannot hang on to the ball. And I think that, as good as Henderson looked in the preseason, it's kind of hard to ignore the explosiveness. I know he hasn't looked great in pass protection, which is probably
he hasn't looked great running the ball.
Yeah, but I think that he's going to get. I think they're going to give him a shot this week. So he's the guy that I'm going to go with. But again, James Cook would be the number one on that list.
I applaud the bravery, the courage here, because that's an early call, right? Yeah. So that's going out on a limb for this one.
Yeah, I like that. I love that one. He's one that I was considering. It's just time, man. Like he's an explosive.
If you're looking for salary relief, right? Like, that's not a bad place to go.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've been harping on the fact that like ownership doesn't necessarily matter, especially on a slate like this. But I mean, he's going to be coming in sub 5%. and he's going to be cheaper than some of these other guys that we're talking about. So yeah, I think that I'm also a Drake May guy this week. I could potentially see in one of my 5 lineups having him on there too. So having like
Stack.
a May Henderson stack, a little bit different than the
Yeah,
normal
maybe my-
stacking partner. So yeah, I'm gonna put my flag on Travion this week.
Yeah, Drake
Right.
May and Trevion was my week 2 flag plant stack. Maybe it hits week 4. I'm gonna go AK, Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
I just think Saints are gonna have to do something, and he's interesting leverage off of a really chalky Olave this week. And he's a back that can score from both rushing and catching the football. I think he gets in the end zone. Might be the only touchdown we score, but I don't think Buffalo's run defense is that good. I really don't.
Yeah.
And so he's an interesting way.
I don't think their defense is that good, period.
Yeah. We saw Derrick Henry run through him. Then I forget who they played after that, but it's not inspiring run defense. So I think Alvin Kamara, I mentioned Derrick Henry, but I think I like AK a little bit better just because of the passing upside.
Nice. Let's move on to receivers. I feel like we spend a lot of time on receivers every time we talk about them. So why don't we do like we did last time? We break it down by kind of price tier. What's the price tiers that we want to go with? It's like 7,900 is Puka. He's the number 1. So down to like 6K.
Yeah, it looks like. Let me sort by salary here. It looks like there's a good chunk there. The 6K.
Okay,
so let's
6K
do that
and
one.
above. Anybody standing out in that range?
Yeah,
we should say before you jump
Blake's
into
gonna say Puka.
Right.
Yeah.
Before you jump into it, Blake, let's go over some ownership. Puka looks like he's probably the chalkiest play on the slate outside of CMC at above 30%. Jacoby Myers carrying a decent amount of projected ownership as well.
That game environment.
Yeah, I know that he's under the 6K mark. Devontae Adams is up there as well. So that double stack looks like it's going to be where a lot of people go. What are you guys thinking up here?
I mean, like I said, Puka's. I'm not going to say I flag planted Rome last week. I kind of just like, I don't know what's above the flag plant, because I said he needs to be in 100% of lineups. I think Puka's the same way.
Though, is that
building block?
I don't necessarily think that was a bad
Cornerstone.
play, but it wouldn't have killed you if you didn't have Rome. He only had 15 points.
It wouldn't have, but that doesn't make it a bad play, right?
No, that's what I said. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we can't resulting here. We can't do forcing the results.
I agree, but I'm also saying like, how much of a result is it? Like, I don't know. Is it good or bad process to play a 50% owned player, regardless of what their score is? I guess.
I think 50. I think it came in hot. I think the ownership came in hot. Right. They listened to me and they said Blake was right. Let me slam.
all of our listeners listen to Blake.
Exactly. So I think Puka is just absolutely slam dunk this week.
I just feel like Puka is even a stronger play than Rome. I guess that's my point, because like Rome obviously got there. He had a 30-point week in week 2, right?
I don't think Rome's had double-digit targets yet.
But a Puka has not scored less than 25 points. He is definitely a guy that can, and I don't think he scored a touchdown yet. Am I wrong on that?
I don't think he has either. No touchdowns.
He's definitely a guy that can put up like a 40, even a 50-point game. You could see that in his realm of possibilities. So I definitely could see him being a guy that you actually have to have even at 40, 50%.
I normally would cringe at like a guy that's 40%, but like he is the safest fantasy player right now. Like he just is. Tell me this.
That's the thing. Him and CMC, like how do you say no? Like you just put them in your lineup and you figure everything else out.
If you were to build a team that couldn't include Puka but had to beat Puka this week, what receiver are you starting with?
It's do you want to make money or do you want to go for gold? Right? If you want to go for gold and like hope they kind of
it's
middle,
it's two different ideologies, right? It's the barbell
Exactly.
effect versus like just the cash game mentality. Because if you want to have an option to ship a GPP, I don't think you can
hold on, a large field GPP.
True, but even small fields, like if you look at everybody who played Rome last week, I know that the winners of the GPP had Rome on their lineups, but you would have been in such a better position if you got everything else right than everybody who played Rome at 50% ownership is. So it's whether or not you're happy with just kind of min cashing or going a little bit higher. Then, but again, as somebody who hasn't made money for like 3 weeks, it would be nice to have some green. So I don't know. It's different ideologies for sure.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest. It's not the cleanest path to taking down a GPP, but it does feel a little bit better.
And so that's the thing, right? That's knowing the lobbies that you're going at, the contests you're going in. A lot of these single entries, it's basically cash lineups. And at least that's where I'm finding a lot more success. So that's why I'm going to keep staying.
To your question, Trey, I think if I was starting up here, I think it would be between Neighbors and maybe I don't know, maybe Amon-Ra, to be honest. Because I think Neighbors is a great one-off play this week. I think Dart is just going to feed this dude. I think he's going to come out and make it a priority to get him like a ton of targets. And we've seen him put up a 40-point game this year already. So, and I know that was a weird, that was like a last-minute Hail Mary type of play, but he has that in him. Like it wasn't surprising that he caught that 40-yard bomb from Russ. So we've also seen him do it with multiple touchdowns, a ton of targets. So like I definitely could see a Neighbors breakout with Dart on the horizon. Could it also fall flat? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, and then Amon-Ra in the dome with Goff. We've already touched on that a little bit. So I feel like Amon-Ra, it just kind of goes like under the radar for a lot of these talks that we have. I know
because this podcast sucks.
Yeah, I know. yeah. Oh man, yes, that's true. But
yeah,
come at me, Amon-Ra.
Yeah,
and Equanimous.
Yeah. If I'm gonna experiment, like I'm not just gonna lock Puka and CMC in all of my lineups because I just want to see what you can get to without him. But yeah, I just think I'm probably gonna come back to like you probably need him because
right.
Fine, if 40% of the field's gonna have him, like any hits, like you're gonna need, like you just cannot survive without him. So
yeah.
So I think the easier way to look at the 6,000 and up range is taking people out. So if we kind of start at the bottom, Chris Godwin completely out, $6,000. I can't believe he's priced at $6,000. Debo without JD5, I'm out. Right, don't want him at $6,000. Brian Thomas, I can see this, especially with Bosa out.
Yeah,
I think he can eat. Right, I think he's gonna come up. Like he's at rock bottom right now.
Week, dude.
he's at rock bottom, right? It ain't gonna take much for him. Devontae Adams, love it this week. Rome Odunze, great game. I think he's gonna be fine. AJ Brown, I think, can destroy. Yeah, right. Actually, not really. AJ Brown was 6,400. I think he can eat against the Bucks.
No,
like you said,
getting expensive.
Oh, Rome's getting up there. Yeah. AJ Brown, 6,400, right? Bucks are a pass funnel, like Trey mentioned earlier. Ladd, I'm out on this price. Haven't seen it from this year. He's like the wide receiver 3, it feels like. He does have good matchups. Bad, it hurts so bad, right? It's all of round 2 is just terrible.
Oh God,
this year. Round 2 of best ball has just been terrible.
It was Cook or
Zay
bust.
Flowers. Zay Flowers can go absolutely nuts if Patrick Mahomes makes this a shootout. And he's just super good. So like the price is high, I think, for him. But I like him. Like Puka, 6,800 is a lot for him, but he's the only freaking guy there. I don't think I'd go that high for Puka. But then yeah, like the next 4 guys, Neighbors, Brown, Collins, Nico Collins, and Puka, like they're all solid. So it's just what works for your team is kind of what I'm going at. like there's a lot of good, but nothing stands out as great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's move on to sub 6K. Let's go 6K to like 4K.
6K to
maybe?
5,
6K to
probably,
5?
right?
Okay. So what
If you want to go to 48, we can go to 48, but yeah.
So we included 6K in the last, so under 6K. So Jameson
6 to
Williams
48, yeah.
is 5,900. He's a top in that range.
Yeah. I just think let's start with him. I think he has the highest ceiling in the 5K price range.
Nobody
he's
wants to
got-
be on that game.
No one wants to be in that game. Like, he's sticking out. Like I keep saying, like, flag plant warning here, but like he's 0.8% projected own.
Yeah.
Can't hate that. I can't hate that. I
you
want
can't
to.
ignore
I want to because I'm
All
a
it
believer
takes
in the
is
Cleveland
one.
defense. Yeah, well, I'm a believer in the Cleveland defense, and if like especially going to that, all it takes is one sentiment. I can't think of a better player of all it takes is one than Jameson Williams in the
He
league.
did it in week 2. It felt
Yeah.
real bad all game, and then all of a sudden, boom, 20-something points. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he was on anywhere else but Detroit, he would be destroying teams.
I know you haven't gotten here yet, Trey, but I think somebody that nobody wants to be on. I mean, maybe people are warming up to him now, but Quentin Johnson.
Yes, that's the
I'm
next
there.
guy I was gonna say.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Bro, that's your value this week, I think. I
Yeah.
mean, that's 5,500 if you consider that a value, but it's so real. Like he's putting up double digits every week.
I didn't realize how good of a second season he had.
Yeah.
And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, well, that's not bad. And then you look at this year and it's just like, this guy's killing it. And
he continues to
like
be
the tape is real too.
Yeah, and he's just the guy that people just don't ever want to play, and I don't get it. He's kind of the number one guy right now where Lad is dealing with this bicep. So yeah, I mean, he's putting up the production where you just can't ignore it anymore. I really like him. So in this range from 6 to 5, I like JMO. I think Worthy's interesting because no one's gonna want to play him in this first game back. I like Pearsall and I like Quentin Johnson. And Keon Coleman's a little bit interesting as well.
My number one is going to be Olave until he's not in this range anymore.
5,100 is criminal.
5,100
How did he goes down?
I don't understand this pricing on him. I don't understand why he is carrying.
How does DJ Moore go up?
Yeah,
and
he is carrying a little bit of ownership. 14%. It's not backbreaking, a deal breaker for me. Last week he was like sub 4%.
ETR has him at 20 if that changes anything.
I think not really. I mean, at some point he's gonna catch 8 balls for over 100 yards and a touchdown. He's gonna have a 30-point week at some point. And maybe it's not this week, but he's still seeing he is leading the league in targets through week 3. It's not amounting to a ton of yards right now, but I just feel like it's coming, and I feel like 5,100, that is like he should be up closer to 6 in my opinion, if not higher than that, with the amount of volume that he's getting.
The amount of volume, yeah. So. And I mean, he's caught the balls for the most part that's been coming to him. He hasn't had less than 10 points this year, so that's pretty good. So I'm gonna neg here, right? Just to shrink this pool down this range. I mean, Juwan Jennings, I don't think he plays, right? I don't think he plays this week. I think he's kind of hurt.
I was gonna ask, is he? I thought he.
I don't know the latest status on that. If somebody can look that up while I continue here. Shakir 5,300. I think I'm out. Let's see who else. DJ Moore 56. I'm out. DJ Moore just doesn't have the role. He doesn't feel featured in this offense at all.
Juwan Jennings is still questionable.
But he practiced.
Did he practice? What's his practice for this week?
He practiced the last 2.
Limited or full?
That's what I'm trying to see.
It says.
So Tet McMillan, I'm the biggest Tet fan here.
He didn't practice. He practiced today.
Full or limited?
He was seen at Friday's practice. That's the only report that I see.
Okay, so if it's not clear that he's full anywhere, he's definitely not full.
Yeah.
So my guess was he's probably going to be out.
Well, I don't know. This report says he was seen at Friday's practice. This is an excellent sign for the 28-year-old wideout as he was unable to practice Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, I don't know if you can.
Yeah,
say one way or the other, but
it's going to be a game time.
Yeah,
right. So if he's out, that's it. That's a big thing for me to go in on Pearsall and CMC. Just hammer them. I think the Jags defense is decent, but it's going to be a very concentrated volume. The other two, like I think I really like Xavier Worthy this week. Tet, I really love, except I think I don't like the at New England and then Christian Gonzalez coming back. So I think I'm going to be out on Tet this week. So just kind of shrinking it down there.
On Tet.
I think Pittman at 5,100 is interesting.
That's where I was going. That's exactly the name I was about to say next. Michael Pittman makes it very interesting because he's clearly the number one for Daniel Jones right now. And if the game gets into a shootout.
We'll touch on another guy in a second because his pricing is insane. Let's just move on to the sub 5K guys, unless you had any more, Blake.
No, I think just in that range, right? Chris Olave, Michael Pittman is like my best values, but I think of scoring the most there. I don't know. I think I'm just going with my heart here and saying Xavier Worthy, but like my head tells me it's probably Quentin Johnson.
Yeah. Okay, under 5K, ton of guys there's just a lot of guys. It's a very broad range of salary, but we were just talking about Pittman. Alec Pierce was ruled out with a concussion for this week. I think AD Mitchell at 3,100 is an insane play. An insanely interesting play.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about that game environment. We know what AD Mitchell can do. I'm blanking on the stat. I heard them talking
He draws
about
targets.
Right.
Like he may be the third wide receiver or whatever, down.
He gets an insane amount of deep targets, and he's had Anthony Richardson throwing them to him. So he's
got an upgrade Daniel Jones.
Right. The idea is that he has. I think the stat was something like only 40% of those deep targets were catchable, were like on target. So you would think that percentage goes up with Daniel Jones. So I think that he is a screaming value. You could get a 0 from him, but at 3,100 you could also get like a bomb touchdown, and you wouldn't be shocked if that happens, right? So
I think you can get a lot, man. Like Josh Downs hasn't had the role that we expected. We expected Josh Downs. Like he played 51% of snaps last week. Did y'all realize this?
Just to jump ahead a bit, Tyler Warren is going to be, I think, one of the higher owned. Yeah, he's projected as like the second highest owned tight end right now. So I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards him or Downs if they want to like get off of Pittman in that game. Whereas you could easily throw AD Mitchell into this, and there's a potential that he could outscore both of those guys for sure.
Yeah, so I think this range I'll make it pretty easy because I think there's some value just like screams out to me if you want to go this low, right? I don't know that I do. Trey Tucker obviously blew up for 3 touchdowns last week. Yeah. He's on the field 92% of snaps or something crazy like that, right? So if this game turns into a shootout, like why not? This guy's super explosive.
And it's surprising too because just on him really quickly, you would think there would be a lot more sentiment to chase those points. He's still looking like single digit ownership potentially. Maybe people are thinking that might be a one-off.
It's been his whole career one-off, right? So
right, but we know that Geno can push the ball, and we know that this game has a potential to shoot out. So if you want to get cheap and you want to stack this game, he feels like a good option. From either direction, if you want to stack Vegas or if you want to stack,
he just feels like a good play. I don't care. Right, good
Right.
play. The projection doesn't look great by any means, but he feels like a good play based on the price. The other one would be Tyquan Thornton, $4,000.
Yeah, I like him.
He's been killing it, and I feel like he's kind of taken a lot of smoke or a lot of the flame from Hollywood Brown after that 16 target first week.
Him and Mahomes have been so close to hitting a few like bombs, dude. Like there was that one that Mahomes just like straight up missed him on.
Oh, that was so bad.
And
that
then
was
there was
bad.
another one that I think it was last week. It was a long touchdown that he ended up dropping at the one. The ball, like he caught it, but the ball came out on the ground. And then Mahomes went like right back to him and he scored on either the next play or the play after that. So like Mahomes is looking for this dude. And, there's not a whole lot of like playmakers on this team with Worthy down. It will be interesting to see what happens with Worthy in the game. But
are you playing the revenge game narrative here? Are you buying it? We didn't talk about this in the mid range, right? Because Hollywood Round's 5,200. Do we give any credence to the revenge game narrative here? Like I always love this narrative, but I feel like it never plays out. Almost never plays out, especially for like this caliber of player.
I don't know if I'm gonna go on that game. I don't think Hollywood is somebody that I'm going to.
I feel like he's just trending down, and I'd rather play the momentum up with Tyquan.
Yeah, I agree. What's his price? 5,200. So yeah,
5,200.
You save 1,200 to go down to Tyquan.
His snap count's gone down every week.
Yeah.
Couple more mentions in this range,
and then Worthy comes up. I got one more. Let me cut you off here, quick, Trey. Parker Washington, right? Came in with 11 targets last week. I think he scored 12 points the week before, and then last week he only caught 4 of 11 targets. Trevor Lawrence sucks, whatever. But I feel like he's what we wanted from Travis Hunter.
Travis played more defensive snaps last week than offensive.
Because he's not contributing in offense. I don't know, man.
It's crazy. That trade is looking so bad, especially with how Mason Graham looked for Cleveland.
Yeah. So Parker Washington just feels gross. If you're looking for a big GPP play, I would include him. I'm not playing. He's not even coming close to my line. So we're talking about good values here, right? So like that's where it is. But yeah, go ahead, Trey.
I actually like Josh Downs a little bit better than Adonai Mitchell. Like with the Pierce news, we've seen it with Josh Downs. We haven't seen it with Adonai yet. I like the prospect, but I like that name. And because like I'm into this golf JMO thing, I feel like a Cleveland piece, whether it's a tight end or a wide receiver, needs to be interesting. Jerry Jeudy is now getting dangerously cheap. He hasn't done anything this week.
Or his career
this year yet, but Cedric Tillman too, I think, is a little interesting. The guy I want to talk about though, my best ball guy, I have said best pick on the board about him. Guess what he's projected in ownership this week, Kevin? 0.00. Nobody, zero humans are playing.
Who are we talking about? Are we in
Luther?
Are we in tight end?
Burden.
Okay.
The third this week. You want to be in these Caleb Williams stacks, these environments? Why not?
You're saying last week wasn't a fluke. You're saying this dude's a touchdown scorer at this clip.
That was a big fuck you to Olamide Zacchaeus. I'm here. I'm the new slot, and it's go time with Luther Burden. Like leverage on the Romans. Yeah, Luther Burden is really interesting in this range, especially if you're into that game.
I love the commitment.
I like
literally no one is playing him. Like
if you're going down to this range, it's good. I'm just not going down to this range. That's why.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially
I think this is all gross.
I feel like if you wanted to attack that game, which I do want to attack that game, Burden is an interesting prospect for sure. Especially with what we saw that he did last week. I mean, again, this is the same type of JMO type of. It only takes one play, right? That he could break a slate. So
yeah, here's the thing I really liked about last week. It was schemed to him, right? Like they had a trick play schemed to him. It was
which is what we
that's
talked about when we talked about him in our best ball episode about him, not about him, but like when we were talking about the best picks, we basically said like he's a guy that you expect to get these manufactured targets for, and look, week 3 it's already played out, right? So also, by the way, did y'all see the pitch? Did y'all see the pitch back on that flea flicker?
I didn't see the zoom in. I mean, I saw a throw, right? The throw was great, but I didn't never focus on the pitch.
Swift like soft tossed it to Caleb. Caleb had to like wait for the ball to come. It's not like a pitch back. Caleb can like do it in stride. Caleb's like literally having to like wait for the ball to come down. It was funny.
He did like the outfield move. He like took 2 steps back and then ran up and caught it and in stride.
Swift was just like whoop. And the ball's like, and yeah, so go watch it. It's funny. It doesn't look like a normal flea flicker.
I'll have to catch up on that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very interesting play, especially in that game environment. You know, we've already talked about how we want to attack it. All right, how do we want to do flag plants? Do we want to do one in each tier, or do we want to just do one?
No, let's just do one here.
Let's do one. Okay. Well,
do one.
Let's do you then, because I know Trey's got a million that he's
You can't say Puka. You can't say Puka. Like you can't.
Can I though?
I'm also. You didn't say your other guy in that 5K range. Like Drake London is $5,700 this week. You're not interested,
man. I'm not trying to jinx him. That's the problem, right? Like
you need him to be good at some point. Your best.
I have way more Puka, right? So I'm golden. I have way more Puka and Nico, right? That's where I've been. But
right. Everyone accepts that you can't say Puka. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. I said it earlier. I think Penix can have a huge bounce back, but like that's in a realm of possibilities. I don't think it's super possible. Anyways, my favorite pick, not Puka, this week. I think I'm leaning into Xavier Worthy. He's been practicing for like 2 weeks, right? I think the Baltimore offense is terrible.
Baltimore offense is terrible.
Defense. Yeah, sorry. Defense, sorry. The Chiefs at home, Mahomes has got a chip on his shoulders this year. Like I feel. It's just he's had what, 5 snaps with Worthy this season. And Rice has been out the whole time. So I think as soon as those guys get back, like this offense is going to be rolling. But I don't know. I'm buying early. Worthy at 5,800. I think it's a steal with everybody else hurt.
Yeah, I like the game theory aspect of that. Is like no one's going to want to play him first week back. They're assuming he's playing hurt.
But he's been practicing forever.
And he's the guy that, preseason everyone was hyped about. So he could probably just hit the ground running. So I really like that pick. It is really hard to pick one guy at this position.
It is.
You had talked about
back up while you wait. If Jawan Jennings is out, Ricky Pearsall skyrockets up there.
Yeah, I like that.
And I actually like Jennings if he plays, because I think him and if Purdy is back, they have a chemistry. But you mentioned his Buka. I actually like. He is a bit overpriced, but to your point, like he's still projecting for sub 5% ownership, which feels like he's just going to be a target funnel this week. So he's honorable mention for me, but I can't. I'll say it's between JMO and.
Yeah, you came out strong with JMO. You kind of sold me on that. Now you're backing off.
I really like doing the flag plants by tiers because I really like BTJ this week. Like they have been practicing just like.
I mean, they're $200 apart. Yeah, I'm not allowing you to flag plant that. They're $200 apart. Have some balls here. Let's go.
And I also really like Quentin Johnson this week. So
QJ could blow up.
He could destroy this. He's the bring back if you're into this Giant stuff. Like if you want to play neighbors or you want some leverage over Hampton, like.
I think the Giants get blown out.
But I'll go JMO. I think he's got the highest ceiling.
The only problem is
price range, right?
Here's what I hate about JMO. And then I didn't realize it was this bad. Looking at his stats now, the most amount of targets he's gotten this year, 5 in week 1.
He doesn't get a lot of targets. He
5, 4, 3.
Been a player that gets a lot of them, which is concerning. But when he gets one and it's like an 80-yard bomb, it's like it opens up.
This guy needs to go to a different team. He's such a good.
I will say, Blake, you mentioned that the Giants could get blown out. I mean, they were supposed to get blown out versus Dallas, so nobody was on. Not a lot of people were on the Giants side. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Neighbors comes out and puts up one of those games that you had to have. But I'm not.
The other guy.
Oh, fuck. Go Trey.
So many guys. Zay Flowers is interesting. Zay Flowers is interesting this week too. Yeah. Okay, go.
Typical Friday night for Trey. So many guys.
Wow.
Okay,
good
my
one,
flag plan. I'll say 2 because I know I'll mention 2. I'm only going to flag plant 1. I've flag planted this dude every week. It's going to be Chris Olave again. I mean, I just think that he's just going to do it at some point, and I think this could be the week. And it's just hard to get the type of value that you're getting from him at 5,100 from like almost guaranteed production, as long as health is involved. But the other guy I'll mention is Nico. We didn't touch on him a ton, but I do think that he is in line for a potentially had to have it score.
Yeah, so he's the dude that if I wasn't gonna have Puka, I'd try to get.
Yeah, man. If Houston wants to get the train back on the tracks, right, they have to get Nico going, and I think they kind of realize that because week 1, 5 targets, week 2, 9 targets, week 3, 11 targets.
Right.
They're like, okay,
I think Kirk getting reintegrated kind of starts to open things up for him too. So.
And I mean, we touched on this.
Played a lot and got a lot of targets last week too.
This was a route that we went last week when we went elite running backs. You could build like Puka and Collins. They're the top 2 priced receivers on the board. Nico is actually coming in at a pretty decent ownership, like right around 10%. It looks like for a 1 week season. So I feel like you could double those 2 and be pretty unique by just starting there.
Puka Nico is an interesting way to play this week. Like both of those guys, especially to your point, Kevin.
There's
like
no cheap running backs.
If you go with the chalk though, Hampton and Scattaboo, like those are just spin up guys that like are interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As always, a ton of plays that we like on receiver. We spend a lot of time here.
But going back to the main theme, right? I think this is the first week I'm seriously considering for wide receivers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like we flipped the script from last week where there was a ton of running backs that we wanted, whereas now I feel like there's a lot of receivers that we could see ourselves getting to. Let's move on to tight end. Kind of make this one pretty quick. There's usually not a ton of guys here. Where are we thinking? Are we going budget tight end? Are we paying up for any of these guys? What are we thinking?
Trey, you want to go first? Or you want me to just start laying out the
really
the
quickly,
land here?
The pricing is insane on this. I'm just looking at it.
It's so compact, right? Even the highest in tight end is Bowers at 5,800.
Yeah, but he's $1,200 more than Warren, who is then I had it sorted wrong. He's 1,000 more than Kelsey.
1,200. Yeah. Okay.
He's 1,000 more than Kelsey, but he's 1,200 more than Warren, and then. Okay, yeah, I had it sorted differently, but if you sort it by salary, it's condensed. But yeah, Bowers is like Bowers, but what I meant, the Bowers is like head and shoulders above pricing wise. But I don't feel like you want to go there, even though he's.
But he hasn't had the role this year,
right? He's looking like he's carrying a ton of ownership, or at least the most ownership. We've talked about that game environment. He could be a way to play it too. I don't know. What are y'all thinking?
I don't know. Let's just talk about Bowers a second because clearly he got hurt that first week,
right?
And it's affecting him. Is he bouncing back at all? Right? Does this week he bounce back in any manner? What did he have? He had 5 targets last week. Like that was gross. I mean, he still put up 9.8 points, which isn't bad, but you don't want to pay 5,800, 6,000, whatever it was for Bowers like that. Yeah, 6,000 last week. I don't know. So is Bowers coming into your lineups at all?
I'm never Xing him out. Like I'm not worried about Brock Bowers. I think he's still coming off of this injury. I think he'll get back.
I think there are better plays.
I mean, because this is a good game environment against
I think if I was building into this game and I wanted a Vegas bring back, Myers is chalky. We talked about Trey Tucker, P-Mill, Mike Chase. I'd be into Ginty and Bowers, I think, over Myers and the receivers.
Interesting.
I think
it's so crazy, like how he was just another second round pick that just seems like a massive miss by everybody. Yeah. I mean,
who's that?
Bowers. I mean, what's crazy is he played only 51% of snaps in week 1, and that was his best week by far. Obviously, he's been dealing with the injury, it seems, but he only had 5 targets last week, 38 yards. I don't know, man. This is
it's gross.
Yeah. But we know that he has it in his bag. Like we know that he could come out and put up a 30-point game. Like, wouldn't be shocked if on Monday we're talking about that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there are better plays down the line, pricing wise at tight end that I don't know that I can get there for Bowers.
Yeah. I don't see very many plays I like. Strange, maybe, right? And I'm going up from price. Strange at 3,200. I do like, because I don't think anybody else is running routes out there. Godwin's going to be hurt. You're going to have Sterling Shepard running more routes than Godwin. Igbuka. So I think Otton's just going to be a good play. Allen Pitts. Njoku and Fannin are interesting because of their price, and like if Detroit gets out ahead, pretty good. The gain script, but I mean, to me, looking at this entire slate, probably just going to go back to Juwan Johnson. Well, why not? It's been 8-9 targets every week, $4,200. Okay, I'll take my 12 points and be happy there.
I do think that Tyler Warren is interesting just because we keep on touching on this game environment. Interesting snap percentage number though. He was going up the first 2 weeks, and then now he had his lowest week of the year against Tennessee at 68% snap participation and only 5 targets, which is his lowest of the year as well. So I don't know. We've been talking about him as being an elite prospect all summer, and it seemed like he was showing it the first 2 weeks of the year. This was just a weird game. They just didn't need him because JT was going crazy on the ground. But would it be crazy if he has a blowout, as a breakout game this week against the Rams?
No, I don't think so. Especially if the Rams get out to an early lead.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad
Which
play.
they did against the Eagles.
You mentioned Britton Strange. I think he's interesting. Blake. I think the Cleveland tight ends are still interesting here. As bring backs to my Detroit stuff that I've been pushing. Dalton Kincaid is kind of standing out to me as well. I think he could torch the Saints. And he's kind of the pass catcher. Like, I'm into naked Allen stuff. I'm into Allen with Cook. But if I was going to play a pass catcher with him, I think it'd be Kincaid. So he's interesting. But I have not mentioned my flag plant yet, so I'll save that.
Yeah, nobody has. So let's just go with it.
So it sounds like Loveland's going to miss this week. Cole Kmet's another interesting stacking piece with Caleb.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Is this your flag plant?
Trey, you start with flag plants, Trey.
So what if I told you there was a guy at this position the last time he played his matchup this week that got 12
30 for 30 intro.
That got 12 targets, 111 yards, and a touchdown for 29.1 fantasy points.
Who are we talking
Isaiah Likely season, baby. Isaiah Likely is trending towards a return. The last time he played the Chiefs was that home opener last year. 29.1 fantasy points. Mark Andrews kind of came back to life last week. I think Isaiah Likely is super interesting.
He's a crazy late swap potential. Like, because if you need a home
especially
run,
if you're into this game.
Yeah, if you need a home run, after the early games. I mean, who is better? Like, what's his? Are they even projecting ownership for him right now?
0.14%.
Yeah, 0.14.
So,
That is
I
the
mean,
definition of plant your flag, baby.
Yeah, he's at what, 3,100? I think I saw
33.
3,300. Yeah, and then you can go crazy on the other games.
You can go crazy because I think this is a week that you could entertain cheap tight end, and
I agree.
no guy anywhere near his price has the upside of him. Maybe Pitts, but I don't know, dude. Kyle Pitts?
Has Kyle Pitts put up a 25-point week in his
I just
career?
mean athletically, like the profile, within that price range. I don't think he's standing out to me as like just a pure upside play, low owns, and
I like
cheap.
it.
Okay.
What about you, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, just going back to the Juwan Johnson. Well, 4,200 is not breaking the bank. It's more than I'd like to pay, but I mean, I'm getting 8, 9, 10 targets for that price, so I can't not do that. And then Buffalo's obviously going to get out to a lead, and they're going to be coming from behind. So just going back to the Juwan Johnson. Well, why not?
I like it. For me, I'm going to Hunter Henry. I think it might feel like I don't know. People don't want to be on this game. We already talked about how it's not our favorite environment, but I think that you could do worse than like what he's felt like he gives to this offense. He feels very necessary. I feel like whenever we talk about Hunter Henry, it feels like a word that gets thrown around. Drake May, last week, 11 targets.
He runs the most routes for him.
Yeah, 8 catches, scored 2 touchdowns, which is crazy. But let me see. Did he have? I'm pretty sure he had no, he didn't have a multi-touchdown game last year, but he has in the past. So I don't know. And maybe he won't score 29 points again this week, but at 4K, would it be surprising if he outscores everybody on this list? Not really.
He has these spike weeks every year, and it's usually like 3 or 4 of them. And
Carolina feels like a tight end funnel a bit. So I think that's where I'm gonna go. Defense. Let's close it out. How do we feel here?
Defense is easy for me. I need salary relief on the slate. So Tennessee Titans, just 2,300. It's a decent defense against an offense that's been horrific this year. And the Texans, it is a divisional matchup, so maybe that gives me some pause. And Tennessee's away, but I'm just going for the salary relief here.
It looks like the most popular defense is going to be actually one of the more expensive ones in the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because they're playing Cam Ward and they are a really good defense. The Chargers would be interesting just because they're playing Dart and you would be getting a little bit of relief at ownership. But yeah, if you want salary relief, I mean, I know we've talked about how good of a position Detroit's in this week, but we saw what the Browns did last week, defense-wise. I mean, it's against who we thought was one of the better teams in the league in Green Bay.
Now, here's the difference. So, yeah. Glad you brought this up. I think the Browns are extremely good against stopping the run. Extremely good.
Yeah.
And that's really all Green Bay's proven to be, right? If Josh Jacobs can't get going, Jordan Love misses a throw here and there to a deep shot, like they're not a great passing offense. This is kind of what I'm getting at. I think the Lions, they can be a great passing offense if they want, if they need to be. That's the difference.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know. I mean, defense, I'm probably just going to jam in whoever the optimizer tells me, to be honest.
Whoever fits, right?
Yeah, because we've shown how we've seen how volatile these defensive plays can be. Like, you kind of just want to have one that you can kind of hope for sacks and the potential for turnovers and like touchdowns. So I don't know. To be honest, I'm not really like gravitating towards any of these. So I'm probably just going to see what happens when I run some optimizers.
Yeah, I think the Chargers paired with Hampton is interesting this week. I mean, they're going against a rookie quarterback, and so that's always a bet I like to be into. And I think the 49ers could give Jacksonville fits. And where are they? The Bills. I mean, 7%. Obviously, it's the Saints, but I don't like them for just because they're going against the Saints. I actually like the Bills as James Cook leverage this week because I think if the Bills do well, that sets up a solid floor for James Cook. But if the Bills defense hits its ceiling, I think it's more likely that the Bills.
You think it hurts James Cook?
It hurts him because he's not like a grind the clock kind of running back.
Right.
Like they might give reps to Ray Davis, and like if they blow out the Saints,
if they get a defensive touchdown, like a pick six,
right? So
and then it's 28-0 in the first quarter,
like it was again last week.
So I think playing the Bills defense in lineups without Cook is kind of like an interesting little mini inverse correlation this week.
Yeah. I mean, my only problem is that 3,700 feels like a lot, and I'm trying to, like I said, I'm already trying to jam in CMC and Puka. That's a lot of money for just those two guys. Right. Then none of the quarterbacks are cheap, none of the running backs are cheap. Yeah, like I think they have some good defensive plays this week, like some really good ones. It's just I can't see paying $3,000 when I need relief everywhere else.
Yeah,
there really isn't a better like anchor than those two, CMC and Puka. Like I'm trying to think of ways to beat it, I just can't.
I know, defense. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even really gonna flag plan any defenses because I just don't feel like I feel strongly about any of them. I'm literally just gonna see. What the optimizer puts in there. Obviously,
it's going to be the Titans.
If you want to pay up, you could pay up for the Texans and just, but you'd have to sacrifice other places. But they're probably your safest play, or the Chargers maybe. But again, you're paying up, so. But
I think it is a pay up defense.
That's a way to get different,
Because I really don't like any of the spin down defenses this week.
Yeah. So
I mean, Houston hasn't performed at all on offense. They've been giving up so many sacks. They're garbage, right? You don't think Tennessee at 2,300 is a decent play? Like that's all I'm trying to get is decent.
I mean, they have not looked good. I mean, they actually played a decent game against Denver, but they haven't done too much.
Well, it's because Cam Ward hasn't done too much. Yeah, right. That's been a stressful.
Is my point.
Yeah,
but like you said, is it a Houston? Is this the game that Houston figures it out? I don't know. I don't know about that either.
I think the only 4 defenses I want to play honestly are 5: Texans, Lions, Chargers, Bills, 49ers, maybe Rams.
Yeah, I'm just poor.
That's really it.
Okay, cool. Anybody, you guys have any other closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, again, I said at the top, I think this is another week where late swap's going to be important. Like the late window games. If y'all had to rank those 4 game environments.
Did you actually swap last week?
I was already out. I was.
Well, that's why you swapped. That's when you swap.
Well, I was into the Chicago game late anyway, so that was the chalk.
Yeah.
So like I felt like I was gonna have a sweat because the Jordan Mason chalk hit, but a lot of the stuff that I had pending didn't pin because I was into the Chargers leverage double stack. Did not hit last week.
Okay, so the 4 games are Jacksonville, San Francisco, Indy, Rams, Baltimore, KC, and Chicago, Vegas.
Yeah,
I mean,
run through your swaps early.
I feel like I'm already going to be like we're going to be on the same wavelength like we were last week. I feel like I'm going to be heavy on the Chicago Vegas game already, and potentially the Indy and Rams game. I'm probably going to build a lineup around Baltimore. So I don't really know. I don't know.
If I had to rank those 4 by like chalkiest to least chalky, I think the Rams game will be the most chalky of the late window games, followed by probably the Vegas Chicago.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is interesting because I really like this Baltimore and KC matchup for fantasy production. Like, and it's going to be low owned compared to the other late slot games. Like, that's the game I'm kind of leaning into for my late pieces, because I like a lot of them, and I like that with the early chalk.
This was a game last year that kind of went nuts, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, it was the
Yes.
first game of the season, but I mean,
Two
both
explosive quarterbacks to shootout. Like, I really
Mahomes
like
only
these.
scored 18, but Lamar scored 27. You know, Henry, I'm pretty sure had a big game. Oh, actually, he only had 10 points. Where did the points come from?
It was Isaiah Likely.
It was, yeah,
No,
Isaiah Likely
yeah.
had a big game. That's right. Yeah,
All of it went to
Likely
him.
had 26 points. He had
I
111.
think Flowers had like 10 points.
Yeah, so
Henry was one.
I mean, I could see it. Like you said, Likely would be a very interesting play, especially on a Lamar team. Could you see Lamar Likely stack with like a Thornton bring back or a Worthy bring back? That's
okay. Blake's black lane is Mahomes.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Like I don't think we'll ever see Mahomes at $6,000 again.
But
so I
Blake,
think
you were talking
I have to
about
go.
Blake, you were talking about how Lamar paying up for Lamar hurts a little bit. You pair him with Likely, now you're back on salary. Like you could do some more stuff. Because you're saving a decent amount on Likely. So, but I know that's a little too
I'm not buying
thin
Likely
for our cash game bro.
Yeah.
For the new cash game bro that we got going on here.
Look, I got a 3-week green streak. All right,
that's the thing.
I just need to make $1. I just need to make $1 this week
about it because he's actually the only one winning money consistently. I know Trey has a 10K win, but
yeah, I'd take that.
Yeah, me too. To be honest, but. On a weekly basis, Blake's the one that's bringing down Cash's
classic for sure.
Yeah,
I do want to save some bullets for this Sunday night game. Dallas, Marco Pison's coming back to Dallas.
Yeah, that one should be fun.
But
I think the primetime games are fun.
What I will say is the Monday night games, I'm gonna lock my betting accounts out. I'm gonna try to not log in.
I just hate the double headers. Like I can't. I like
it's
one
not
game
even
to
that.
focus in.
It's just the fact that these games are insanely bad. Like, I mean, I guess the Cincy Denver game would have been good with Joe, but I don't think that in any world was the Jets Miami game ever going to be good.
Dude, J.K. Dobbins captain for that game.
Ooh, okay. Showdown, bro.
Flag. Yeah. I've never made $1 on Showdown. J.K. Dobbins captain.
Oh man,
I like it.
It's been like pretty like consistently tight end captains have been like consistently the optimal, right? Like
I thought it's been quarterbacks, right? Just because quarterbacks like Josh Allen put up like, I don't know, with a captain bonus, right? The 1.5. It was like 60 points.
Trey, what was the Ravens game recently? Was Andrews? You had an Andrews captain lineup.
I did. You needed. I leaned into the Henry Zay, and I should have leaned into Gibbs.
Right.
Gibbs and I forget who the other piece.
Well, I'm saying this Green Bay Dallas game, Ferguson captain might be an interesting way to play that one. Mm-hmm. So might have to get in on that one, but All right, man. Well, I think that'll about do it for this one. You guys got any closing thoughts?
No, it's just a really flat slate. Like I said, I'm not going to be scared to have a completely uncorrelated lineup. I feel if that happens. So,
all right, Trey, you breaking the bank this week for Classic again?
No, I'm not. I'm probably going to play like a just single entry this week and then save some shots for Showdown.
I think I'm going to continue going with my 5 entry contest and a single entry, and I think I'm going to keep that train going. I might do the spy instead of the end zone this week, so we'll see. But yeah, man. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out, and we'll see you guys in the lobbies. Hopefully, at the top of the leaderboards. But yeah, peace.